So a while ago I did a collab with Jinchee, who is an artist and also drew my profile picture. She's very familiar across my channel at this point. Basically in this video we drew Pokemon as different types because I wanted her to draw me a Shibe profile picture and the deal was that we'd do a collab. I did crap at my drawings while Jinchee was taking her time and making beautiful masterpieces. Now obviously, she's an artist but come on. Just look at this dumpster fire of a fire type Levany. Now, anyway, Jinchee eventually drew the Shibe for me. Now here it is. Obviously, this drawing is amazing. The chonk is perfect. It's beautiful. Of course it's not exactly what I expected, but you can't do perfectly just from text and no reference. So I put it as my profile picture. The immediate problem was that it was a bit too dark and you couldn't really tell what it was. I eventually took it off and left it on my banner. The banner came and went. At this point it was kind of just a commission. Which is totally okay since she does drawing commissions across Amino. And I'm not gonna get it just to show you, but she's at Jinchee. Just don't flood her with requests. But yeah, I got my Shibe. Because you know my obsession with them. Yes. I did say in the other video that I'd keep my mask on until the end of the pandemic. But damn did that age horribly. But nearly 700 views later, as me and Jinchee were just kind of blabbering on, I came up with idea of doing another collab and she was like, oh sure, why not, and she was wondering what the concept would be. And I came up with the concept drawing random nouns and adjectives. Yes, we could have done drawing Pokemon as different types part 2. Or drawing Pokemon. But you know, I like this idea. So I used a random noun generator and a random adjective generator, 2 nouns. And 1 adjective. The 2 nouns were confusion and affair. And the adjective was clammy. Whoever created not the best drawing but the most creative drawing wins. I shared an unlisted link to a Shrek video I uploaded, because I didn't have Discord or anything like that, and this was just a place to chat. And now, I went over to Procreate to draw. And here it is. Now, as you can see, it's a blob having an affair with a humanoid clam. I think it's pretty good, but of course, it's already better than the first one last year. So Jinchee liked it. Then, we talked for a bit longer, and then eventually, I had slapped my profile picture on Teespring merch, and Jinchee didn't like it since it was her art. Now immediately, that makes sense. Even though she drew it for me, she still owns all of the rights to the image. And I was stupid for not asking her first. So I took down the store, and made a post explaining and apologizing. And then we worked everything out and now it's all good. And then things kind of paused for about a month. I had been trying to reach out to her, but for some reason she wasn't getting notifications on the unlisted video. So I commented on the cute Valentine's animation asking what the holdup is because I was getting impatient. And you know what happens whenever I get impatient. And she said she understood, as she had been taking a while due to school, which she had already mentioned, and is understandable. She said she had already started the sketch, so it would be done sometime soon. We also decided that I could start my second drawing while she finished, and so I went back to the random generators and here is what I got. The two nouns were tongue and basket, and the adjective was heavy. Now, okay, that could make something really messed up. So I took advantage of that, and drew a guy with a really long tongue, and it was really heavy. So he had to carry it in a basket, but it was painful. And to make it even more messed up, I made him pantless and put stains on his shirt. What have I created? Now, honestly, I'm not too proud of this, and it isn't very good. I could have done better, but I guess it turned out fine. Then, a little
Want to collab? Sure. Okay. Here's your prompt. Okay, good luck. This'll be fun. Hey, you finished with that drawing yet? Okay, I am so sorry for taking like 2 months to get this done. I'm really sorry. School has kicked me in the foot, and I'm sorry. I probably should have considered this as a possibility, and yeah, I'm really sorry. So, what are we doing? For this round for the collab, the words were confusion, clammy, and affair. I will explain a little later because it's not exactly gotten to that point yet where I could explain properly. So before I did anything, I sketched 3 little character designs for a certain situation. I don't know why, but it was then and only then that I figured out how to draw animal legs. And I'm mad because after that point, I was unable to throughout the entire drawing. Like, how do you draw legs, guys? I don't know how. And after a point, I was struggling to like make a proper sketch, so I did a little thumbnail one in the corner of the scenario I wanted to portray, and then I had stretched it out after I was done. And then I realized this canvas is a bit too small, so I ended up having to crop the canvas. I finally started to do the line work, and I actually really enjoyed making these character designs, because, you know, kitties are fun to draw. So anyway, what was my idea behind this? So the scenario is this. Cat girl on the right, the one with the big hair tuft, is going on a date with her girlfriend, which is the one with the straight hair. But the thing is, her girlfriend told her to meet the one in red because she wanted it to be a surprise. Or like, I'll be the one in red. But purple cat girlfriend thing, I can't English, accidentally goes to the wrong table. And then her real girlfriend arrives at the same time and starts screeching at her for, you know, possibly cheating, even though it was just a simple mistake. And then, strikingly similar to that dead salad cat meme from, like, what, 6 months ago? Or longer than that. Apologies, I am not that educated. I only lined the table and the cats because I wanted the viewer to focus on that center. Possibly a cheating scenario, but it's not. It's just one character thinks that. It's, confusion because everyone's, you know, just confused. Like, I don't know what's happening, guys, but mostly just mistaken cat girl on the left. And then it's clammy because, like, this is a tense situation, everyone's sweating, yada yada. Personally, I like Soggy's better because, you know, he is an anthropomorphic clam. You know, that needs more. We need more anthropomorphic clams in this world. I actually really did enjoy working with the colors because I never really work with purple in just regular terms. I usually use it in shading, but never for like character designs. After I had finished the shading, I went over and started doing highlights and put it on the layer setting of screen so it would, you know, look a bit more natural, or at least, you know, more to my liking. And yeah, that's my submission. I feel like I won't get, you know, a lot of attention for it because it was, you know, hard to explain. So, yeah, that was my submission.
So, Jinchee's drawing turned out very good. Although my drawings can't really compare to hers. We've got to remember that this is all about creativity. So creativity-wise, I'm in okay shape. But the fact this did have a lot of thought put into it and is pretty dang creative might give Jinchee another chance to win. I mean, she deserves it, but okay. So a while went by, and Jinchee finally got finished with her second drawing. So now, let's cut to her.
Chubby bunny. Okay, next part of the collab, go. The theme this time, or just words, were tongue, basket, and heavy. So I decided to draw a chubby little bunny in a basket with his tongue sticking out. Before doing anything, I did some initial sketches of bunny rabbits so I could see how I wanted to draw them, because, I don't know, I felt tempted to do that. And I kind of initially chose a more realistic design, but decided against it, and then made it look more squishy and cartoony. And I also tried thicker line work, but as you just saw, I did not decide to do that. I chose a heavy bunny in particular because it was around Easter when I started doing this, and it's several weeks later. And yeah, I suck at being productive. I chose more warm colors because I felt like using the Easter colors would have been way too contrasting, and also because since it's not Easter anymore, I didn't really feel like it'd be appropriate. So I just made this little bunny with little heart-like markings because I can, and I love them. I used a Jinchee ink brush, not Jinchee airbrush, just Jinchee ink to shade for most of it, but I went back to the gouache brush on the basket so I could show some texture. I originally thought the word was basque, and this drawing would have looked very different if the word was basque. I would have drawn a chunky lizard lying in the sun. So for basket, it's a basket. For heavy, it's a chunky bunny in a basket. And for tongue, it's the tongue. After I had finalized everything, I used the selection tool and duplicated it so I could make a shadow beneath. And I didn't know how to make a background, so it's just purple. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah.
So that bunny was pretty darn cute. I think that so far she has some really creative ideas. But we will see what will happen now, as we move on to the third and final round. So the two nouns for this were assumption and passenger, and the adjective was chunky. So for this round I drew a shibe looking at the chunky or chonky passenger shibe and assuming that he eats too much. I don't know. I just really wanted to draw shibes. And I'd say I went pretty cute for this round. Overall, although it's not the absolute best, I think it's decently creative. Still a little nervous though. But now, let's move on to Jinchee's final drawing. Luckily it's more on time, as we decided to do this at around the same time. Okay, so before I show Jinchee's thing, I need to explain some things. Basically she hadn't really made any progress for a while as she literally had no idea what to do. We had to brainstorm in what looked like literal gibberish in her comment section so we wouldn't spoil the collab. This was on a video where she said that she sucks at being productive, as she had spent 3 hours on the drawing, and didn't even follow the prompt. She kind of had to add some things onto it and redo some things. So she loses at least 3 points of creativity just for that. But she's still doing pretty good creativity wise. So that doesn't really affect her. She whipped things up in the past couple of hours. And she kind of did it jokingly, as she didn't 100% do it right. But why not end the video with a little comical relief after these stressful 4 months? So yeah, enjoy.
No. Final round. The words were chunky, assumption, and passenger. So I decided to draw some little kitties because I wanted to draw some kitties. And one of them, we can assume, ate a fish because, it's obvious. Dead fish, crumbs on the mouth. Obvious is obvious. The chunky cat is guilty. I had a lot of fun making this. I changed my style for this one. I used thicker line art and more cell shading than usual because recently in my art class we researched pop art a bit, and I got a bit inspired, so I decided to draw some kitties. I also tried to mess around with like different kinds of cats and messing around with proportions and, breaking the rules a bit. That's probably why the ones on the left and right may or not look like cats. I just stylized them a lot. The left one I'd say would be like a Sphinx cat of sorts, and the right one could be like a French curl or British curl, American curl. It's the one with the curly ears. For the drawing, I used cell shading because I felt like that gave off that cartoony aspect, and then I went and used the halftone tool and made it look like it'd be Dottie. So I really liked how this came out, and I hope you all enjoyed this collab. The collab is finally done. 4 long months of me not getting my stuff together, and now it is complete, and I hope people can enjoy. I really like this last one. Not chunky, yeah. No. Okay. Let's just. I tried my best, okay? It still works.
So, despite trolls, turned out amazing. It still went very well with the prompt, despite not necessarily having passenger in it. And now, as me and Jinchee were in the final hours of our collab, I started getting in a cold sweat. My heart was beating fast, and I was oddly nauseous. This is what happens when you work hard on a video for 4 months and it's literally about to come out, right? So yeah, we started talking about things and then I made a Google form for people to vote, and uploaded a video that would be deleted in 2 hours. And apparently that worked, because everyone wanted to get there before it was deleted. So I got 100 views in the first 45 minutes of the video being up. That might not seem like a lot, but for my channel at the moment, that is insane. Like, I hate to give those clickbait guys credit, but that works pretty darn good. At the same time, there were all 50 plus people who had filled out the form. In case you don't understand, that is ridiculous. That is not normal. Oh, and Jinchee also encouraged people to vote too. I told people not to be biased over me and Jinchee because that might happen for different reasons. But the problem here is that the average points per person is exactly the same. We both got 12.4. So, okay. We need to come up with a solution for this. Although I overall got more varied and got slightly higher averages. Whenever Jinchee got high averages, I mean she got them. It was just mostly the second drawing that wasn't as creative, and brought her points down. So overall, this might be biased, but I'll call Jinchee the winner. But, just to be fair, I'll say that we both won. Yes, that wasn't exactly the point of this competition, but this has been a long 4 months, so we just need to get this thing over with. So subscribe to Jinchee. She needs to get to 300 subscribers, and hopefully 1 million one day, because she deserves it. She does a lot of speed draws, skits, animations, and more stuff like you saw in the video. If you're interested in seeing more of her work, subscribe to her. I put a link to her channel in the description. Anyway, this was a fun collab, and anyway, bye.
Well, thanks for doing this with me.
Good job.
What's really beneath the suck?